Kirk, the Americans are going to have to regroup.
Well, it's always dangerous to let a team back in. The U.S. had 2 swings to win the match. Couldn't do it. Now the Japanese are back in.
Americans serving first. And it's put away by the Japanese at Otake.
Well, when Otake's in the game, they're going to go to him. He doesn't do a lot of other things, but he does hit well.
They like those quick sets in the middle to Otake. The tip by Timmons. That's the 5th time today he's been able to tip it down.
The team has really dug in against him, the Japanese. He's doing a nice job tipping over the blockers.
And Fortune's second service fault of the match. Here comes Samuelson. And he puts it away. Bob Samuelson. Bob, again, is playing very well after bruising the thigh in the first match against Japan in San Diego. Hits that one long. Bob sat out the second match, resting that leg. But he's playing well tonight. Stavrtlik able to turn on it.
Stavrtlik, not the terminal type hitter. Looks for hands, moves the ball around. That time got blocked, got the ball right back and went by the block.
American veteran Steve Timmons, 33 years old. Good effort by Aoyama, tooled it off the double block of the American. Teams trading side outs here in game 4. Americans up 2-1. Timmons is roofed. Oh, what a great effort by Ogino. And the Japanese break out again in game 4. Samuelson, a field goal spike.
Nice set that time, 35 feet across the court. Court's 30 feet wide, went a little wider. Sammy out of the back row with a kill.
22 kills for Bob Samuelson. A great cross-court hit by Ogino. Sharp angle. Japanese starting to build some momentum in this match after stealing game 3 away from the U.S. The tip was blocked by Otake. Nice read on Scott Fortune, and it's 2-0 Japan.
Tough guy to tip over Otake. 6'11". You better go real high. If you go that high, they're going to dig it in the back row.
Correct, the same pattern for the Americans, falling behind early in these games.
Hard to keep coming back. You keep putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Ogino rifles that one wide. Good idea, just not the right execution. Brian Ivey. Tipped over. Nice effort by the Americans defensively. Timmons played to the back row. Excellent defense by the Japanese. Samuelson kills it. First point for the Americans in game 4.
Good thing Sammy came along, carrying a lot of the offensive load right now.
Otake, and he's warming up.
Good passing, sets all that up. Pass right to the center, jump sets to Otake, gets up in the air over the block.
Sammy missed. Miscommunications in the front row, and it's 3-1. Scott Fortune blasts it long.
And the hitters are all sort of looking at Dan Greenbaum right now. It's not a good sign. You know, he's a substitute setter, Jeff Stork not being here. And you really have to go up and hit the ball. Your job as a hitter is to go up and smack it no matter where it's set. And I think he's doing a nice job setting.
Greenbaum started 5 matches in the World League last year. There's a kill from the reliable Steve Timmons. Nice article in Sports Illustrated on Steve Timmons. There's a kill for Izzy Mikawa.
U.S. players were all pointing at the antenna, saying the ball hit the antenna. That's what Bob Saverlik's pointing at. That little barber pole right there, saying the ball hit it. The ball cannot touch any part of the antenna.
Jean-Francois Marty of France is the lead official in this match, and let's take another look.
It does move a little bit. It didn't look like Timmons' hand. And the U.S. wins the argument, so good point.
So Bob Stavertlik goes to the head of the class in the debate club.
Well, Bob has been sort of quiet in these matches, and you'll see at the Olympics and later on in the playoffs in the World League, he'll be much more intense, very intense individual.
Speaking about intense, he's magnified that word when Steve Timmons is around.
There's a little intensity in the two guys right there, Samuelson and Timmons, enough for most teams. A lot of go for it.
2 serving 4. Izzy Mikawa, and he got hands. Side out Japan. When he's on, Japan's a pretty tough team. When he goes off, when he starts hitting the ball all over the yard, then they have problems.
Well, truthfully, the Japanese are used to 50 kills from Nagagaichi a game, so, you know, a match. He's a big-time hitter, and they don't have him out there, so they're going to be a little inconsistent.
Bob Samuelson with the put-away. Speaking about Nakagaichi, he's expected to return very late in the World League season, get in a couple matches before Barcelona. Acosta is in.
Yeah, Nakagaichi had knee surgery in April. They expect him to be ready sometime just before the end of the World League season.
And Acosta serving for the Americans. He's been on all 3 World League teams for the United States. In the middle, nobody home for the U.S. and a kill for Manami.
Eric Sato did not make the trip. You're used to seeing the back row specialist supreme for the U.S. Eric Sato come in. He is back in the States.
Through the double-team block and another kill for the United States and Bob Stavertlik.
Actually, there's an 18-man roster they submit before the World League, Randy. They can travel with 12, so they mix the rosters up a bit.
There's a put away again, and it's Izzy Mikawa. 24 kills for Izzy Mikawa to go with 8 hitting errors. But he's learning, and he figures to get only better. He's only 21 years old. There's a dig by Ojina. Stavertlik is done. Here comes Samuelson. Another fine dig in the back row. The deep court play of Japan. Outstanding. Best rally of the match. Well, the Americans finally break down and a winner for Manami.
Great digs by Ojino in the middle back. Gets down. Look at him drop down, do the splits, get that ball up. Nice digging.
5-2 Japan. Let's pause for this. You're watching World League Volleyball, Japan and the U.S. on Sports Channel.
I'm Ahmad Rashad.
And he's serving for Japan. There's a winner. And another clean hit for Steve Timmons. Steve Timmons married to Jeannie Buss. Of course, Jeannie's dad is the owner of the Lakers and the Great Western Forum, where the United States plays its volleyball, and there's an upcoming match against the Commonwealth of Independent States at the Great Western Forum. And we'll have that one for you, along with another match against the Commonwealth from San Diego a little later in our World League season. There's a kill for Aoyama. Japan fighting hard, trying to stretch this to a 5-set match. That serve is long.
Might talk about that, Randy. 5th game, point per play, no side outs, and it's exciting. So, you know, the U.S. would rather not play that. You don't want to get caught in that situation. You want to close it out.
Fred Sturm's thinking we had 2 swings to close out the match in 3 games. We let the Japanese hang in there, led by Ojino and Otake, and of course number 15, Izumikawa. Japan has fought back. Acosta is done. And another one for Japan's Izumikawa.
Again, doing it with defense. Bring the ball up. That gives your offense a chance to score. Good set and a point.
Outside to Sammy. Another fine dig. Oh, the Japanese are playing great defense. And the defense translates to offense. And Izumikawa with another kill.
Again, the defense doing a job, as I just talked about before. Outside Izumikawa, out of the back row with a put away.
Can't really fault the Americans' play here, Kirk. Japanese are digging everything. Ivy finally able to drive one through the defense. Japan is leading 7-3. Remember, the Americans fought back. They were down 10-3 in game 1 and scored 12 in a row. Free ball for the U.S. Another marvelous dig. Ojino with the kill.
It reminds me a lot of the Japanese teams in the 60s. 64, 68, great defense, then a good quick attack.
Standing up by Aoyama. Service fault back to the Americans. It's the second time Matsuda has buried it into the net. Americans need the breaks. They're down by 4. The combination play didn't fill the U.S. But the hit, the spike by Samuelson is wide.
Well, it cut across his body that time. Never really connected with the ball and just sprayed it to the left.
7-3. Japan trying to even this one at 2 sets apiece. Sammy that time had a good look at the ball, measured it, and just pounded away. 25 kills for Samuelson. Otake. Everything's okay with Otake.
Well, what he does well, middle attack, they're going to him now that he's in the game. What he doesn't do well is serve. Lollipop serve, but a big block.
And Manami beats Samuelson one-on-one. Manami, one of the better blockers on this Japanese team, as Seiji Oko looks on. And Stavertlik finding an alley. Here I'm trying to exhort his team on. Let's get it started. Not liking what he sees. These Americans are now faltering at Osaka. It struggled on the road in the first 2 years of the World League, but this team a lot stronger, a lot more experienced, and obviously a lot more capable.
Well, the jumper of Sammy can certainly be the thing to get him going. But not if it's in the net.
Izumikawa will try his luck with that jump serve, but like Samuelson, not a good job there. Hardest thing to do is to control that jump serve, but when you keep it in play, it can break down the passers. Oyama read nicely by the American. And now he turns around and kills it long. Not a good attack by Aoyama. And give the Americans their 4th point of game 4. Ooh. Good set by Matsuda Manami.
Quick set, one-handed, nice play up early. Manami puts it away.
The effort, though, by Matsuda to handle that bad pass. That's what a good international setter can do. The first pass is not good. He can still put it back up there for his attacker.
And that's why you like that 6'8" setter. They can save a lot of bad passes.
Look at the Japanese play defense. Marvelous effort. Manami with the kill.
When you said it, Randy, it's great defense. It's winning this game. Here we get another look. Middle back right. They're right on the money. They run the quick attack. Defense.
3 or 4 great digs by Aoyama. That was Otake with the good dig, but the bad hit. God, it's contagious when Otake's digging him like that.
Well, definitely it does catch on like that. A team gets on a roll. Everything you touch starts coming up.
Ogino, dug by Fortune. It'll be tough to beat Japan in this game the way they're playing.
Well, defense keeps you in a game a long time. If your block doesn't get hot, it will be hard to beat this team because they're siding out extremely well.
Tip, dug by Fortune. Ivy hit it wide. Brian's upset. He had a good look at it, but right now the look in this game is all Japan, leading the United States 10-4.
Hi, I'm Frank.
Especially on defense.
Great back row digging showcased by the Japanese in this game 4. There's one that's through for Brian Ivy. Aoyama has been spectacular in digging the ball in game 4. Ogino, and that one did not touch anybody. It hit the net and bounced wide. Ogino had a look at it, but he could not clear the net. Point for the United States, 5 serving 10. Back row attack and a stuff by Samuelson. Nice read by Bob Samuelson.
All 3 blockers up, giving him support. Hard to get that ball by. Not a whole lot of court to hit at.
Kirk, you talked about the Americans needing the block to get back in this 4th game, and they got one there. It's ruled good on the attack by Manami.
Well, Bob Silverlake's not liking a lot of the calls he sees tonight. Japanese extremely happy with the calls. Of course, they are playing in
Osaka, Japan. To have that home court advantage, the good cooking.
the home lineman is basically nice, too.
Samuelson. Straight down, Bob Samuelson.
Well, Sammy's really carrying the offensive load right now. The only one who's consistently putting the ball away for the USA.
This is Dan Greenbaum serving. Sammy over the bench. And he could not run it down. A kill for Manami. That was scary when you see Sammy turn and run for a ball, much like he did in San Diego.
Yeah, except there was a table in front of him instead of a bench, and he didn't clear it or Wink Davenport.
Of course, he ran into Wink Davenport, one of the
hard to miss Wink sometimes.
Well-known collegiate officials, and you're right, Wink is easy to pick out in a crowd. He could use a diet, but quite candid. But he's a great guy. There's a kill by Izumikawa. Samuelson went into the net. Didn't matter. It was a good kill by Izumikawa.
And if Wink's family will please send those letters to Randy Rosenblum.
Yeah, the Americans playing ragged in game 4. ball handling miscue. And it's 11-6 Japan. And Samuelson whacking it off hands. Side out America. Nick Becker for Bob Samuelson.
Bring Nick Becker in, good server, although I'm not sure they gained much serving. Bob Samuelson with his serve on is one of the better servers, but a real good defensive player, Nick Becker. Very quick. Even though he's tall, he's very quick and good in the back row.
Stavertlich kills it. What is showcased so much of this game for, Kirk, is the fact you can see how good Japan can be when they play great defense. And you put Nakagaichi back in their lineup on that particular given night when they play the Americans in round one, first match of the Olympics. They are a dangerous opponent.
Well, they're very dangerous if you don't pass well. If you pass serve well, you can run your offense, mix things up, and go at them. But they're a good offensive team. They can side out with anybody. They just don't block that well. So if they start digging you, you're going to be in for a long night.
Izumi Kawa to the jump serve, leading 11-7.
Bob
blocked wide.
Bob Stavertlich doing a nice job. Has not really been stopped since the middle of game two, so he has his hitting game in gear.
And another service ball. Steve Timmons.
Well, that kind of a miss is a concentration error. You go back here to the whistle, you just sort of serve. You don't concentrate, you miss a serve.
Americans have not played a strong fourth game, but still in all, let's not take anything away from Japan, who's played a great defensive game. There's one that gets through.
Well, again, the bad combination against the Japanese, the U.S. team is not passing that well. That's a bad combination because they will dig you. If you just keep hitting it back there, they'll keep the ball coming back in your face.
Good spike from Ojino. And Kawada will return for Manami. Katsumi Kawada.
He too playing at home out of Osaka. In fact, he plays for Suntory, a club team here.
27 years of age. Scott Fortune. Samuelson back in for Nick Becker. Side out Japan on another kill for Ojeda, his 16th of the match.
They're having a great match, really consistent. Not making a lot of errors, but putting the ball away.
Dig. There they go again. Japan defensively. And this hit is long, but again, Japanese getting to the ball in the deep court. Greenbaum to serve. Americans back in game 4. 11-7. Izumi-Kawa. Well, he has not made as many mistakes in this fourth game as he did in games 2 and 3.
Well, he gets a difference. He's keeping the ball in play, hitting it hard. Japanese in general keeping the ball in play very well, games 3 and 4.
Scott Fortune nails this one long, and is he irate with himself? It's 12-7 Japan in game 4. Hey, Japan has built momentum.
Well, as in any sport, you want to close out a team when you have them ready. They had a chance. 2 swings to close out the match in the third game. Could not do so. Had a couple of shanks. All of a sudden, the Japanese are back in it, and now they're playing well.
And the Americans can't pass the ball. Ojino thrilled to death. And it's 13-7 Japan. 2 points from stretching this to a 5-set affair. You don't want to make that kind of miscue coming out of a timeout.
Well, that was a shank, and it's back row guy. Nick Becker was in that time. Shanked that ball off his arms. I take it back. It was Scott Fortune on that side. Becker staying in the back row. You see the two-man receive right there, the USA.
Again, the passing, not all there for the Americans. And Samuelson bombs away.
Well, it's the one thing they really have to watch out. Scott Fortune must serve well if this team hopes to win a gold medal.
And Fortune, the American captain, serves. There's an overpass and a point for the United States. An easy one for Timmons.
And that's really one of the few mistakes the Japanese have made in Game 4. Make that 2 mistakes.
But they're still alive. They got it up. Here comes Sammy. And Izzy Mikawa with the block.
Izzy Mikawa saying, wait, it hit his head.
I thought it did too, didn't you?
Look for a divot on the head. You can see it.
It's ruled a point for the Americans, however. And Japan immediately wants a timeout here with the momentum quickly going back to the United States. It's 13-9 Japan.
Well, the Americans are doing a better job, and they've shown they can score quick points, Randy.
How's your Japanese, Kurt?
Well, Japanese saying there, get low, pass the ball, and then stay low on defense, is what he was saying.
You never cease to amaze me.
He said side out. I hered that all the way. I wouldn't be surprised to see them right now come out, run the quick play. Watch them to go quick, good pass, watch them go to the middle.
Really, the star of this fourth game has been Aoyama with his back row digging.
I think he and Ogino digging out of the back row and hitting, has done a great job.
Seiji Oko has to be pleasantly surprised with his team's turnaround in games 3 and 4. A roof on Timmons by Otake. Side out, Japan. Manami returns to the front row. Samuelson having a big fourth game.
Nice to see Sammy go down the line. He likes to hit seam and cross court. That time went right down the line. Good hit on the right side.
10 kills in the game for Samuelson. Aoyama responds. It remains 13-9. Sat out Japan. Timmons is looped. And Manami likes it. Why not? His Japanese team 1 point away now from sending this to a 5th and deciding game. Ueda, the captain, comes back.
Just for one play to block to close it out. That's why he came in.
Chance for the Japanese. There it is. We go to a game 5. (15-9) Japan. Izzy Mikawa with the kill, and we will have a quick scoring 5th game. The Americans win the first 2 sets. Japan takes the next 2. The 5th set straight ahead on Sports Channel.